Sportsman's Radio with your host, motivational speaker Greg Dwyer. Be sure to check out Greg at www.gregdwyer.com. That's www.gregdwyer.com. Now on to our show. Take it away, Greg.
Can you believe it's April? That means the first quarter of the year is over. That means winter's over. So here we are going into spring. It's April 2nd. We have 9 months to create the life that we want to live. And I think the easiest way, the fastest way to close the gap is to have a coach. And I have a coach with me today. Her name is Beth Castro. We're going to talk about her life. But what I want you to take away from this is that if you want to close the gap on anything that you want to do, the easiest way is to find somebody that is already doing it, getting results, because that's the key. They're actually getting results. They're willing to give of their time, and they're going to coach you and train you. This way you can take decades and you can compress it into days and months because they have the experience. Beth, thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's go back 5 years. So 5 years from today, what was things like in your life? Like, how were things 5 years ago?
They were pretty much spiraling out of control.
Okay, and how were they spiraling out of control?
Well, I was very sick.
Okay.
And because I was very sick, I tried to fake that I was healthy going to work as a teacher.
Okay.
And I just couldn't keep up with it. And
well, how sick were you? Like, you had the cold, the flu? Like, what are you talking about sick? Like, how sick?
I had heart problems.
Okay.
I was 100-something pounds overweight.
Oh, no way.
I had migraines almost every other day.
Okay.
I was on 11 meds.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and that's just the beginning of it.
How did this happen? Like, did this thing happen overnight, or did it creep up on you? What happened as far as your health? Like, what do you think?
It crept up on me, and
Okay.
a lot of it was I was also going through emotional things with a relationship.
Oh, okay.
So the health, and then because of the health, I lost. I resigned from my job because I couldn't keep it up. I couldn't be there every other day.
Okay.
I was in the hospital a lot.
Oh, no way.
So then it got to a point where I was having a bad time in my relationship.
Right.
And I left the relationship, and at this point now, I'm in my car.
No way. So you're telling me,
I didn't even know where I was going to go.
So you're telling me your health fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
You were having challenges with your health. You had to resign from your job, and because you couldn't keep that up because you weren't healthy and you weren't making.
Exactly.
So did you have any income coming in when you resigned? Did everything dry up, or how was that?
As a teacher, people help you with sick days.
Oh, they do. Okay.
But it got to a point where I couldn't anymore, and you run out, and there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I retired.
Okay.
And I retired to help the children. At the same time, I retired because I couldn't keep it up. The
Okay.
thing is, at that time, I couldn't get disability.
Right.
And it was because I had the pension. I couldn't get my pension because I was too young, and there I was with nothing in my car.
So how did you feel emotionally? Like, take us back to your emotional state of mind when all this stuff is going on.
I was scared.
Okay.
And I was sad.
Okay. Gotcha.
Because I was always wanting good things.
Yeah.
And I was at rock bottom.
Wow. So sometimes you have to hit rock bottom. And I guess it kind of was like a house of cards in the sense that your health wasn't doing very well, so that caused you to lose the income, which means you had to resign from the job, and then of course you were having relationship problems, and that kind of fell apart and left you looking up. Sometimes you have to hit bottom, and that's what happened.
That's exactly what happened. Then I remember sitting there saying, yeah, exactly.
You were praying?
What am I going to do? I was praying.
Oh, sure, yeah. And then your family helped you? I'm sure that's what you shared with me before, that your family
if it weren't for my family, I would have been in my car homeless for at least a year.
Wow.
I had all my stuff in the back of the car.
Okay.
Some stuff in storage, some stuff in the back of my car, and there I was on my little phone, thinking, oh, what am I going to do now?
Wow. Now, did you see this coming? I mean, did you ever imagine that you were going to lose your health, not be able to work at the school, and, have financial problems and also be by yourself as a
Never imagined that.
Okay.
No. I just kept pushing. I never imagined that.
Okay. sounds like a crazy nightmare, but you didn't stay there, so that's the good thing. You didn't stay there. So now what we're going to do is just fast forward 5 years till now. So here it is, 2023. How are things different? I mean, how do you feel, and what has changed in your life?
Things are very different.
Okay.
I am very healthy. I lost 109 pounds.
Wow.
Off 11 meds.
Okay.
My heart valves are actually strong now.
Okay, good.
And in general, I have good health. Then after that, I said, now I gotta get some income. Now I'm healthy.
Right.
I had a health coach. Now I need another coach, and I chose my business because the money is the next thing that you need to survive.
Yeah, and you're helping people now.
And again, now I'm a health coach. I mean, a life coach.
So you're taking your mess, which happened to you, and you're assisting other people that are struggling with their health, whether it be weight, whether it be heart problems, or any of those things.
Yeah, I'm the guide. So I don't, anybody that was in my situation, I would love it if they could find a coach so they would know, go from step one and close that gap.
Yeah, okay.
So they don't have to stay there.
Right. So you went from bad health to a bad relationship to a situation where you had to walk away from your job. Now you're retired.
I'm retired.
Your health is better.
I'm healthy.
And you're helping people.
And I'm helping.
Wow. And it only took 5 years.
5 years.
Wow. That's okay. That is amazing. Let's do this real quick. I'm looking at the time. Let's take a quick commercial and we'll be back because I want to ask you how in the world this happened. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
All right.
You've been listening to the Greg Dwyer Radio Show, brought to you by motivational speaker Greg Dwyer on buildingfortunesradio.com. Do you wish you could sharpen your focus on what matters most to you and achieve more? Then you owe it to yourself to read Greg's ebook at gregdwyerebook.com. That's www.gregdwyerebook.com. Download it today and give it away. As always, we want to thank you for listening to the Greg Dwyer Radio Show on Building Fortunes Radio. Motivational speaker Greg Dwyer. Now back to our show. Take it away, Greg.
I think one of the biggest things that stops people is fear, and I think the biggest thing that stops people is they don't close the gap because they don't take action. And it sounds like we're back with Beth Castro. It sounds like you were in a situation where you didn't know where you were going to live, you didn't have the income from the job that you were working as a teacher, and your health wasn't that bad. You hit bottom.
Wasn't good. Yeah.
You hit bottom, so you knew that there were stakes involved. Like if you didn't change your life, it could have been a disaster. I mean, we know a lot of people that lose jobs, they lose relationships, their health goes out of control and they start drinking or they get involved in drugs or anything. It's, and their whole life just spirals. What was it about you that you just said, I'm going to turn this around? Like, I mean, what was the thing that made you just commit to getting out of this situation? What was it?
First of all, I'm determined.
You're determined. Okay, good.
Second of all, I want to be an example.
Yeah, okay.
To my family,
Yeah.
to my kids.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a good example.
Okay.
And if I stayed down, I wouldn't be there for them. I
Right.
wouldn't be there
Yeah.
for my family. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be there for other people.
Right. So
So-
just determination and being an example to other people was the thing that motivated you.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Why do you think some people, when life slaps them down, like, because a lot of people, I mean, I've had situations where I've been, slapped down too, and things happen, and you're like, oh my, why did this happen? Why do you think some people, when they get slapped down, they stay down and they don't change? Like, what do you think is going on there?
Not a big enough why.
Not a big enough why.
They have to have a reason.
Right. Okay. A reason to change, a
Yeah.
reason to, and maybe.
Why are you changing?
Right.
Why? If you have nothing and you feel like you have nothing, so I would think mindset.
Mindset. Okay. Yeah, I think mindset is. So just the fact that you were determined, and also in addition to that, you wanted to be an example to your kids. You knew that you were going to pull yourself up from your boots.
I had to. That was my why.
You had to.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. So
I wanted to too. I mean, it's not fun staying down there.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
You're not.
I wanted to live. I wanted to be alive.
Right.
And I wanted to show other people how to get out of that.
Right. Well, Maslow talks about the pyramid as far as the foundation. The foundation is you got to feel safe. You got to have food. You got to have water. You got to have shelter. Sounds like all of those things were taken away from you. You know, you weren't really certain about your health. You weren't really certain about finances and relationship. You're all by yourself, single mom. So you had to crawl out or, you know, get out of this situation. So besides determination, what happened like after that? What was some of the things that...
Well, I tried to do it on my own.
You did?
And I felt like I was spinning my wheels.
Okay. For how long?
Well, I'm determined, so it was only like about a week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I decided I need somebody to show me.
And who
how
did?
To do it.
Who? Somebody showed you the way?
Yeah, I got a health coach.
Okay.
And the health coach taught me nutrition.
Okay.
Taught me what causes inflammation in my body.
Right.
Showed me easier ways to exercise.
Okay.
And when I followed that coach, the weight came off me.
How long it take to get rid of the weight?
About a year and a half.
Okay. So it didn't happen all at once?
No, the first 2 weeks I saw a difference.
You did?
Yeah, I lost like 5 pounds.
So what were you doing? Just drinking more water, not drinking fast, or eating fast food? What was it?
Well, the first thing he taught me was drink half your body weight in ounces in water.
Okay.
And eliminate sugar. Anything that digests as sugar.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of sugar in things.
Oh, there is. You have to read labels.
Okay.
But it was worth it. I have an inflammatory disease, and it pushed it back, and I don't have that anymore because I don't have the inflammation in my body.
Right. Well, talk a little bit. I know you know a lot about health. What does inflammation do to the body?
It could destroy your organs.
It can.
It literally destroy your organs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So carbs, sugar, things like that.
There's healthy carbs.
Oh, there are healthy.
There are healthy carbs in vegetables, and you need carbs to survive.
Okay.
But we're talking about white bread.
Yeah.
And muffins and stuff like that.
Which I love. You know, pizza.
There's ways to make them.
There are. Okay.
There are ways to make them that you can eat them. I can eat all kinds of things. Just how you make it.
Okay.
And it tastes good.
So did you know this stuff like 5-6 years ago, or did you have to figure this out by finding this coach who kind of mentored you and trained you?
I knew have a balanced meal.
All right.
But I didn't know the effects of certain foods that go into your body, what they do to your body.
Okay. Okay.
And I studied that. I really put my whole effort into that to learn it. Okay.
So one thing we didn't talk about, we talked about the fact that you didn't have the income. We talked about the fact that you had some health issues. We talked about the relationship falling apart. What about emotions? What about the whole understanding of, and I'm kind of going back here to how it was like 5 years ago. How does the emotions tie into a person's health?
I would like to go back there actually because.
But not stay there.
No, I don't stay there anymore.
Okay,
thanks
good.
to my coaches.
Okay, good.
I was very unfocused.
Okay.
I was always processing, like, how am I going to get out of this? What am I going to do? What
Sure.
happened to me? And I had chronic PTSD.
Okay.
Which is a post-traumatic stress disorder, and it was chronic.
Okay, gotcha.
I had thoughts that were looping, and somebody would say, how are you? What did you do today? And I would go right into my story of all the abusive things that happened.
Oh, wow. Okay. So emotionally, you would just go back to it.
Emotionally, and then I'd start crying.
Oh, okay.
So somebody could just say, how you doing today? And I'd think of all the things that happened to me, and I'm doing terrible, and I would start crying in front of the person.
So you get triggered.
I would get triggered,
okay.
Yeah.
So do you think the emotion impacted your health, impacted
Absolutely.
the whole thing?
Oh, absolutely.
So they're all connected. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also possibly the relationship that you had, you know?
Yeah, that was very stressful, and stress causes problems in the body.
Okay, so it's all related.
Yeah, there's research done on that.
Okay, I think emotions are really important. So now you're doing a lot better. You have your own business. You're a lot healthier, and you're determined. And now you're helping. Is it primarily women, or are you teaching men too? Or, I mean, what's your audience?
I do have clients that are men.
You do. Okay, very nice.
Mostly, a lot of women tend to ask me more.
Okay, sure. What are you doing different? You seem
exactly.
happier.
Because they talk to me more, but
they can relate.
But I do have men. Yeah.
Okay, they can relate to you better. So you're taking what you've learned, and now you're helping other people. You know, the way we talk about that is you take your mess and you make it into your message, which is, you know, outstanding.
Absolutely.
You have a great story. What else are you doing?
Then I went to finances, and I decided I need a business coach.
Okay.
And I found out you were a business coach.
Right.
So I asked you if you would help me.
Right.
And the first thing he was saying to me was give me $1,000. And I'm
Right.
like, where am I going to come up with $1,000? I don't have it.
Right.
He said, well, when you have $1,000, talk to me. Come talk to me.
I remember that.
Again, I'm determined.
Right.
I'm going to figure this out.
Right.
If I have to sell my grandfather clock, I'm going to figure this out.
But you didn't have to do that.
I didn't have to do that, no.
No.
But
So that was a test. I wanted to see how,
Yes.
you know.
It took me, I said, okay, it'll be September. And then I was like, okay, it'll be October.
Okay, gotcha.
I think it was November when I finally handed you.
So let me ask you this. When you first wrote a check for me, or you first came in for coaching, how were you feeling? Were you nervous? Were you apprehensive?
I was nervous.
You were nervous.
I was nervous.
Okay.
I was saying, I know that he has a way to go. That he has a way to fill that gap. And I need it, and it's worth this to me.
Okay. So you were determined, you wanted to invest in yourself.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
What would you say to people that want to change but they're afraid to get a coach? They're afraid to find somebody that's going to keep them accountable versus drifting? Because it's easy to drift. You know, drifting is like, okay, here it is April, before you know it's July 4th, and before you know it's Halloween, which is one of my favorite holidays. But you know how it is. You just drift through life. What would you say to somebody that's thinking, I don't know if I should invest my time and energy in a coach?
You may probably be in the exact same spot that you were a year ago,
Right.
if you don't move forward.
Right.
And then the next year, and then the next year. It continues.
Yeah,
and
sure.
then you're sitting there one day going, I never got any of my dreams.
Right, right. Well, the secret is, you know, as I've coached you for the last year, I've had coaches. So people have coached me, and I just came back from a group in Vegas, and I'm signing up to do a mastermind group in July. So having accountability and having someone challenge me is just as important as me challenging you. And now you have your own business. What's the name of it?
Happiness begins with health.
Okay, that is wonderful. So happiness begins with health. How did you think that through or come up with that as far as happiness begins with health?
It was because I couldn't do anything if I didn't have my health.
Right. So it all begins with health.
I would have been in the hospital. How can you do fun things while you're in the hospital? So the very first thing I needed to do was to take care of my health.
Okay.
Get my health back.
Okay.
Once I got my health back, the next thing is your foundation
Right.
and business. And that's when I came to you.
Right.
And a lot of it was mindset. And I was wondering, look, I came to find out how to make a budget, how to get a few extra dollars. And what happened was I learned a different way of thinking, and I've had in between, I've gone to a lot of seminars.
Sure.
Which you pointed out.
Right.
And again, I was determined.
Mm-hmm.
And then I forgot.
Well, no, you're on the right path. The fact that what you came for and what you got is kind of two different things, because you thought it was just going to be external stuff.
Exactly.
But you're talking about mindset.
Mindset.
And how to think and reframe things.
I would like to say a way I reframed something. If back then I had bounced a check, I'd be, oh no, my credit score is going to go. I'm going to have trouble with the bank, and what am I going to do? I'm going to have embarrassment. Now, if that happened to me, which it's not going to,
Right.
if it happened to me, I'd be like, okay, I need to do something to make money tomorrow. How am I going to do this? It's a total different mindset, and believe it, the next day there'd be money in there.
Well, let's talk about your mindset when it comes to money, because when I first met you, you may have had issues with money. Do you think your mindset has changed when it comes to money today? I mean, how do you see things when it comes to money?
Yes, I thought that rich people were greedy. It was a belief.
Okay, sure.
Forgive me, anybody that's rich, and I just said that, but it looked like that to me back then.
Right.
Or that, how could somebody have the most huge, beautiful house and there's starving people on the sidewalk?
Right.
It just like, I can't be like that person.
Right.
But then I realized that it's energy.
Sure.
That money is energy. I learned that from coaching.
Right.
And so you can be generous and you can contribute if you have money.
Right.
You can help people. You can do all kinds. Now, I always did anyway, but to a bigger extent.
Right.
I mean, you give to a friend who needs $25, as opposed to you can give to an agency that helps children or women's shelter or something like that. Now you can just write the check.
Right. Yeah.
That's
My
really nice.
friend Jeffrey Combs, who I met like 30 years ago, he said the best way to help the poor is not to be one.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
and I have compassion because I lived it. I remember going back just a little bit. I remember going on the bus because I didn't have a car, and to get to work, I had to take a bus. a transfer downtown, wait in the freezing cold, and take another bus. And I got there before school started, about a half an hour before school started, and I was tired by the time the kids got there.
Right.
Because I did all that walking in the bus, and
Right.
it was something. And it makes you feel, you relate to people who are in that situation.
Right.
Although I never want to go back.
Right. So the past is the past. I think you went through this for a reason, and now you're helping people.
Yes.
So how do people get a hold of you? Let's say they want to focus on their health. Let's say they want to focus on coaching. I know you're offering 15 minutes of free consultation,
Yes.
no strings. You're not going to, upsell
Right.
people or hard sell or, be really rude to people. You want to help people.
Yes.
And how do they get a hold of you? Like, what's the best way to reach out to Beth?
You could email me
Okay.
at harmony2259@gmail.com.
Okay.
Or you could call me at 860-631-3001. 860-631-3001.
Okay, so if someone's listening to this or watching this, they want to get to know you, or you want to be on another podcast or television or do something, they're going to reach out to you. And if they want to work with you for 15 minutes, how does it work? You're just on the phone with them and you just
Yes.
talk to them?
I will ask them where I want to meet them where they are.
Okay, so meet them where they are. So what is it that they want?
If someone says, well, I'm already healthy,
Okay.
but I have a problem because I'm having trouble in my relationship, or
Sure.
I'm having trouble doing it, then I go from health to mindset
Right.
to helping you with that issue until you are no longer feeling oppressed and you're free to do whatever you would like to do.
So what I get from the conversation is a lot of times people have health issues. Maybe they're overweight, or they have their stomach, or they're full of anxiety, whatever the heck it is. Doesn't matter. It could be emotional. But it is tied to their beliefs. It is, right? I
Yes.
mean, it's tied together.
Yes.
So when someone says, well, I really have a health problem, or I have a weight problem, or I have, I don't know, something going on in my family, it could be an emotional thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's affecting your body. That's why I start with health.
Okay.
But I don't just stay there.
You don't.
I have different categories.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you learn how to look below the surface? Is it because it's what you went through?
Yeah, actually
Okay.
it is.
Okay.
It is.
So you experienced it yourself.
It was empathy for, I went through things myself in my
Okay.
lifetime. And that 5 years ago you were talking about, there was way more to, things. And I would watch and learn and
Okay.
observe other people.
Okay.
And I never wanted anybody to, not even the children when I was teaching.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted them to be happy and love school.
Right.
And I just carry that gift
Nice.
to the people.
Now, you told me something a couple weeks ago that you had gone to therapy, traditional therapy, for
Yes.
many, many, many years.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you told your therapist about a year ago that you were working with a life coach, a business coach, what was her reaction?
That's very nice, but we need to work on this.
Okay, and she kind of said, be careful.
Yeah.
You know, this guy's not certified. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, yeah, she was a little bit more kind, but yeah, that's basically what she did say.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right. Did she mention nuts? So what has she said to you recently in the last 12 months?
She said, I honestly don't need to work with you anymore.
She said that.
And yes, and she said, we're going to start every other week.
Right.
Because basically all I'm doing is talking to you, and it's not fair that I'm getting paid for just talking to you, because
Right.
what you needed to learn, you already know.
Wow. So traditional coaching is great. I mean, traditional therapy is great.
I would not say don't
Right.
do it.
No,
Yeah.
sure. I mean, traditional therapy is good, but business coaching with a person that knows what they're talking about, and possibly life coaching or health coaching, like what you're talking about, as long as the person knows what they're talking about. Because there's a lot of coaches out there, they've read a book, but they don't know anything about health. Or worse yet, they're talking about health and they're overweight. Or they're talking about business and they're broke. Or they're talking about sales and they don't even make phone calls. It's terrible.
Copy someone who has been through it and
Okay.
who knows what they're talking about.
And that's you.
That's me.
Okay. So you have credibility. I mean, you didn't make this story up. You were overweight, you were unhealthy, relationship.
I've been through it, and I can help you get to where I am because of my experience.
Okay.
And I'm taking a lot of courses too. So
Okay.
Yeah.
And right now you have a clientele. Like you,
Yes, I
you
do.
actually within the last couple of months have taken on some clients.
yes.
Wow. So where do you find the time to
And
do-
I was actually told by one of them, "You saved my life."
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. I never heard that one.
Yeah.
There you go. That's wonderful.
It was very negative. The gentleman was very negative.
Okay.
And he was trying really hard to get out of the negative spin.
Okay.
And I helped him see things in a whole different light.
Wow.
And he said, oh, you saved my life.
Wow.
You saved my life, and I'm grateful to you.
So do you see the big picture here? I mean, I see the big picture. Like, you're going through this spiral, you're falling, all this crazy stuff is happening to you, your health is spiraling out of control, you have to walk away from your job, the relationship falls apart, you would have been living in your car if it wasn't for the nice family that you have that really helped you. And it was a dark time. But then, fast forward to now, and the fact that you found a coach and you've had other coaches that have helped you, now you're passing it forward.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
I mean, you're passing it forward to help other people.
Yeah. And I get to have fun.
Okay.
I'm going to be going to Europe.
Yes, yes.
Just for fun.
Now, have you ever been to Europe before?
No.
Okay. And so if someone said to you 3 years ago, 4 years ago, hey, you're going to go to Europe, what would you say?
I would have laughed.
You would have.
I would have sitting in my car and, yeah, that's a dream. I wish. I
Right.
would not have said, I'm going.
Right, right, right. So
Yeah.
do you find yourself like expanding and growing and...
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So here's something, and we didn't rehearse this. Where are you going to be in 5 years from now? So just think in the future, you know, here it is 2023. So 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 28. Where do you think you're going to be in 5 years?
In 5 years?
Yes, in 5 years.
I don't even want to think about money. It's not going to, where's this coming from? Where am I
Right.
at? I just want to say, oh yeah, you need that. Here you go.
Right. So you're going to be helping your family more.
I'm going to be helping my family more.
Okay.
I am hopefully traveling to more countries.
Yep.
This
Where do you
is
want to
gonna
go
be fun.
besides?
I want to go to Italy.
Yep.
I want to go to Scotland.
Yep.
I want to go to Austria because I want to go to see Mozart's home.
Oh, yes, I've been there. Yeah, it's very nice.
Possibly Portugal, just
Yep.
for the fun of it.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
see.
So
I don't know. A
So-
lot of ideas. Oh, St. John's. I
St.
wanna go to
John's.
St. John's.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you say to a person that's afraid? What would you say to a person that's apprehensive for calling you, or a person that, you know, just doesn't have the faith to take the first step and is saying, well, maybe I'll think about this? What would you say to them?
You will be safe, and if you try it and it's not working for you, you have choices.
Right.
You can choose to choose a different coach, or
Right.
you can choose to stay where you are.
Right.
I'm just here to offer my kindness and my knowledge to help.
Right.
And if it's not working for you, it's not working for you.
Right,
So.
right. Yeah, and the same thing with me. I don't appeal to everybody. My focus is business, but I know that when I'm dealing with people in business, that there's underlying psychological, emotional issues that have to be dealt with about money and, you know, other things
Yeah,
like
it
that.
took you a year.
Yeah, no.
To help me, yeah.
Yeah.
And little by little. And I'm going to tell you, I was rebellious. You would say something, and no, I'm not going to do that. And then I'd go home and I'd think about it. Wait a minute. I think he's right. Or I think I'll try that.
Right.
And to my surprise, it helped me.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm not as stubborn anymore, which is
Right,
good.
right.
Yeah.
And how has that shown up in how you're coaching other people? Because I know right now you're coaching people and you're getting paid for it.
Yeah.
How is that showing up when you're on the other side of the equation? And do you see people being stubborn? Do you see people?
Yes.
You do. Okay, so you see a reflection.
I see me, and I'm okay with it.
Oh, you do. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So why don't you we have a minute left. We have exactly a minute left. It went by fast. So how do people get a hold of you? What's the telephone number?
Again, the telephone number is 860-631-3001, and my email is harmony2259@gmail.com.
Excellent. Well, let me say this. If you want to close the gap in any area of your life, you can struggle, you can read books, you can go to seminars, it's fine. One of the greatest gifts that you can find is somebody like Beth, somebody like me, or someone else. Doesn't have to be her, doesn't have to be me, could be somebody else. All the person has to have is qualifications in the fact that they have done what you want. That's it. And you say, look, and like I met with a friend of mine the other day. I said, how did you do this? What did you do to make this work for you? And I was asking him questions about closing the gap, because you don't want to spend all of your time and all of your energy. So find a coach. It's the quickest way to close the gap. So focus on what's important to you and recognizing that being distracted is really not being unfocused. It's just being misdirected. Find a coach that's able to help you. Beth, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure.
All righty, we're out.
You've been listening to the Great Dwyer Radio Show, brought to you by motivational speaker Greg Dwyer on buildingfortunesradio.com. Check out Greg at gregdwyer.com. Be sure to download his ebook at gregdwyerebook.com to stay focused on what matters most to you. That's www.gregdwyerebook.com. We want to thank you for listening, and go make a difference in your world.